to share with you some of those techniques, just a couple of simple techniques with masking. It really, really is effective and not hard to do. So let's flick over to the desktop, and we have just a plain, so this, I'm going to start off with just, oh, can you hear that? Just starting off doing something with some trees, just to give you an idea about what masking is all about. And this is just a very simple technique to show you. So what I have is I've got this post-it note paper, which is actually covered in sticky all over, and you can get these just at Whitcoulls or wherever you are, and wherever you do your shopping for paper products. And this is perfect for this. You can get the other post-it notes, but of course they only have the strip, and you can get other sorts of sticky backed ones as well, but these are quite easy to access. And so what you do is you ink up the stamp that you're going to want to use. Okay, and I'm just going to ink this up. So this is from the Whimsical Trees. Now the hint that I'd like to just give, which I found out the hard way initially when I started stamping, was when you cut it out, and it's hard for this because you've got the little leaves coming out, but you must always go, let me find my scissors, you must always cut. Now sorry if I fade in and out, I'm just waiting, my other microphone started humming, and it wasn't a pleasant humming like a tune, it was a terrible humming in the background kind of noise. So I'm waiting for my new one to arrive. So hopefully I'm not going to be, I'll pull that a little bit closer, it's picking up through the computer, so through the laptop. Okay, so always make sure you go in a little bit, because if you don't, I'll show you actually an example when I am stamping this for you. So we're just going to cut this out and making sure we're inside of the stamped image. Here we go. So anyone who watches this who lives in Auckland, so we can go to the shops tomorrow, which is very exciting, but I certainly won't be going for the first week or so because it's going to be absolutely crazy, isn't it? I'm sure absolutely everyone will be wanting to go. And just the excitement after us being in lockdown for so long. Okay, I'm just going to give this a bit of a wipe and going to stamp. So start off by stamping. So I'm wanting to do like a grove of trees, but I don't want to keep stamping over and over, because then the original tree just gets a bit blobby. So that's a very technical term, that, blobby. When you're going to do the next stamp, just pop your sticky note that you've stamped and cut out over the middle, just making sure you've still got an edge. There we go. And then if you're wanting to do another one in the middle, I've pre-cut this one out, obviously. So I want to do one up there, so I need to cover both of these. Now I'm just going to make sure that this one at the top, before I do it, is over to the side a little bit, so I don't get that big white. Okay, that's a bit of glass on my, and then I'm going to do that there. So if we take these off now, you can see that looks as though that tree is in the background. And if you tried to stamp that, that would have ended up looking quite messy. So let's do this, just do a little bit more. So popping that on. Probably not the greatest one to show you, for example, but because of the fineness of these leaves coming out. But we will persevere, and then I will do another one. It is such an effective technique. Can really give a beautiful look of something being 3D. So there we have like a few trees in a grove. Now let me just show you what would happen if I put this too close to the edge, which is what we want to avoid. So you're wanting that to look natural, like they're all together. So if I put that right up to the edge and then stamp, you can see, if I take that away, see that leaves that white halo, which is why when you're doing this technique you need the finest paper that you can get, because the gap, you can never get the ink right up to the edge, so you need to have the finest of paper, and when you're cutting out an image you cut right on the black line. Okay, so let's get on with the one that I was going to show you. I'd have to obviously find a use for that now. Never waste these things. Okay, and it's always good actually to keep, I'll just put these masks in here, just keep your masks for the next time that you're going to be doing that technique. You've already got them pre-cut out. The stickiness does last for a while, so okay, just give that a good clean. And okay, so what I wanted to share you with, this beautiful stamp set here is called Beautiful Moments, and this was designed by my team leader Jackie, and absolutely beautiful. That's Rangitoto Island, and it is gorgeous. It's about her daughters and her family basically, and the beach, and sort of a New Zealand essence, if you know what I mean. And it's been very, very popular, so I thought we would use that today. Okay, I'm going to stamp the girls, and I'll leave that there so you can see that a little bit. I'm going to stamp the girls on the beach, and I'm just going to do them in Sahara Sand because I'm going to colour them, but I don't want a really harsh black outline. So this is a perfect way for doing that without, it's going to, so I'm going to put them over to the left. And because this is water-based, I'm going to be using my alcohol blend pens, which you can use with this ink, any colour, not just the black. And next I'm going to now pre-cut this. I've cut these girls out, okay? Now I've cut up, like if these are joined on the stamp, just cut up and cut that bit out like that. And I've done the same here with the bucket, cut the handles out so that I could get the black line. Won't show up anyway when you colour, so, or the brown line. Okay, so just adjust, making sure you're keeping in the lines. You should just be able to see the outside of the lines. And the little bucket. Okay. So the next thing this is really helpful for is if you're wanting to do any blending. So of course this is, I'm wanting a bit of sand and a bit of sky. Now what I might do next to give me more of a horizon is, this is the Rangitoto stamp. So if you do that now, that's going to give me a bit of a horizon to know where, you know, the sky starts and that sort of thing. So let me do that about there, I think. Often when I do these things, I pre-do them, so I know I'm not just guessing, but I thought, no, I'm going to just try and do this as we go, and you can sort of listen to my processing. Of course, if I stuff it up, I'll just usually start again, but okay. So this is Rangitoto Island, and we're going in. So this is in soft suede, so that's a little bit darker. It looks as though that line's going right through the head, of course, but it's not. If you wanted to add a bit more of that island, I'll just show you a little bit. You can put that this masking paper over that edge there. Then you can ink up again, and then just follow the line a little bit. There you go. And as you can see, I gently pull this off, that's extended that just a little bit. So, right, so let's start off with a bit of sand, and I know what I didn't bring over, but that's all right, they're just behind me. I'll just get my blending brushes. Whoops, smooth the table. Okay, so let's find my brown one. We'll start off with the Sahara Sand. I thought that was pretty appropriate with the fact it's on the beach. Right. So as always, just inking up your brush in one direction, tapping off the extra, and then I always seem to like to do mine a little bit sideways. I guess we all get our little ways of doing things, and then just gently build that up. Now, some people don't like the edges. As you come on, you can see that the edges get a bit darker. I don't actually mind that at all, so I usually go with it. But if you're someone that doesn't like that, you can easily start off with your paper, your card that you're colouring like this, just a little bit bigger, so that you can trim it down at the end. So always ink up in the one direction. I hold my finger on here just to give this a little bit more control. This looks a bit messy at the moment, doesn't it? Okay, let's go on to a bit of water. So I'm going to do the water in Pool Party. And I will find my Pool Party. Okay, I just thought I might stick to the colours, of course, that sound very ocean-like. So Pool Party I thought would be good for the ocean. The ocean is sort of a bluey green, isn't it? Let's just turn that around the other way. And so I'm just still going to come in on the side. Now when I'm going over the girls, I'm just not, they're pretty good at staying there, but just don't really flick it too hard. And that ridge there, of course, is a good sign for where the sky, etc. might start. We will be adding a bit to that underneath to make it look more like an island. It doesn't matter if you go over a little bit. Oops, that looks a bit, needs a bit more there. And then I'm going to use Balmy Blue. Balmy Blue, where are you? It's not here. That will be, hang on. I took it away. Luckily I've got everything very close, which is fantastic. And now we're just going to do a bit of sky. No clouds in the sky today. Just keep it simple. And that is, I might use this one as well. Here we go. Of course, you can go far more into this and add clouds and different things like that, and you can do some waves. I'm just doing, I'll put a bit of paint on there, the white paint, to just make it look like there are some waves on there, but I can do that at a later stage. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just colour this in a little bit with some, oops, I keep moving that. So this is also soft suede. I'm just making that a little bit thicker. And I'm going to get some crumb cake. And going to add, just to give that, so it's just, oops, this needs to be, need to get a new one of these. It's been well loved. And just bring that down a little bit. I just added the soft suede line to the soft suede ink because then I can blend it in better, because the ink won't blend. There we go. Now let's take the mask off, and you can see, I need my tool. There we go. Just gently pull it off. Stuck on well, but it doesn't pull the paper, which is the best thing about this post-it note sticky. But I'm trying to keep it in one piece so I can use it again. Isn't that just amazing? Just love how that, you just take it, you think it doesn't look so great, and then you take it off and it's like magic. Okay, so let me pop that over there so I don't lose it. Now I'm just going to get this mono rubber. I don't know if anyone's got this. It's not Stampin' Up, it's Tombow, and it's a sand eraser, and I use this all the time for ink accidents mainly, but it is also fantastic, I've found, for adding. See, if you just use this lightly like this to add, this looks like ripples now, and I'll bring it up closer in a second to show you. Oh, and one thing I forgot to do before I took those girls off, I will quickly put their legs back on. It's a bit funny, doesn't it? Put their legs back on. And then I'm going to just get, I'm going to use some scrap, but I'll use this. No, that's all right, I'll use this. like so. I just want to add some sand on to the sand. I'm going to add some dots. So I'm just going to get my Stampin' Blend and I'm just going to use it as a splatter, and you just flick it. So you just put it in the lid and you just flick it like that, and that adds the dots to make it look a bit more like sand. So many different things you can do, isn't there, just to add the techniques. So just bringing that up, make sure you can see that, bring that way. The rubber has sort of made some lovely ripples in the water, and the dots have made it look like some sand. Okay. We'll take these girls back off again and we'll start colouring them in. Right, I thought I would do them both matching dresses in purple. Highland Heather. So that's Highland Heather, and the other thing that we have is two pens for skin. This one is ivory and the other one is bronze, but you can mix up your colours as well and get the right skin colour that you're happy with. But I thought I would just use the ivory today. These girls are just young girls without bronzed skin. Now, one of the great things about blends, but I'm not going to actually do too much of that today, is you can add a lot of shading. So I'll just do this, and then you can come back, even with the same colour. And if you just go over some of the areas, you can make them look a little bit darker. I love colouring with these, I must admit. So just adding a bit more up the top there. There we go. Oh, there's a fly. Okay, so I will add a little bit of shading with so this is dark Highland Heather. These pens do come in pairs with the dark and the light. You can use the two, you can just use the one. This stamp's great because it actually shows you where the shadows are. And then you can come in like that. And then just blend. Now there's lots of different ways to using your blends. I quite like doing my dark, for this sort of thing, I like doing my dark outline and then coming in and blending it out. The last thing, you don't want direct lines, you want the colours to sort of blend together. Other people like to just go over the whole thing with the light blend and then come back with the dark. Either way is fine. Just don't oversaturate near the lines because then it will bleed out over, and you don't want that either. Though that we do have a special ink removing pen which comes in very, very handy. You can always go back in and add a bit more dark if you want to. There we go. Okay, and I will do the other girl in purple as well. I think these sisters and their colour coordinating. Off to play at the beach, a very Kiwi thing to do. I'll make this one a little bit darker, I think. It is just, I just love using these to colour. I've seen some amazing work using the blends, I must admit. There we go. So quick and easy to actually add beautiful colour. There we go. Right, so let me, oops, just missed a bit there of her dress. I will colour the hair. And thought I'd make one with brown, sort of a reddy brown. And then the other one can be blonde. Yes. Well, yellow blonde. She's young, her hair hasn't darkened yet. There we are. And let's do Bermuda Bay for the buckets. Keeping the colours lovely and bright. Yeah. Let's go inside there, make that a bit darker. And let's add a bit more, bit thicker white there on the demarcation of the sand and the ocean. Here we go. I'll just, perfect. Okay, so next thing is I actually pre-did some card base, etc. So what I thought I would do, I've used Sahara Sand for the background, and I have got, and I might get some early espresso actually, just to give that a tiny, tiny frame. Let me just grab some. And I'm still here. My early espresso running away from me. I keep it all in, keep bits in here like this, so I'm hoping one of these actually fits. This one will. Okay. As I said, I didn't pre-do this, so it is just creating it on the fly. Basically, I just wanted to show you the two techniques, but I will put this together. Now, sometimes if I'm wanting to make a very, very fine border like this, I will just put this on my trimmer like this, and you'll be very careful, of course, you don't pick your work, just to make sure that I'm getting it exactly where I want it without wasting the paper. There we go. See, this is what I do when I'm trying to create something. Okay. And we will glue that on. Yeah, I think that just really makes it pop, doesn't it? I'll put that on there. Now, I have used this embossing folder from Seaside. Oh, the name's gone out of my head now. But it really is, it does gorgeous. You can use a die for this as well, so you can emboss and die cut this. So usually you die cut first and then emboss, otherwise when you run it through the machine again, it will flatten it. But it's got beautiful shells, and so I thought I'd coordinate this with the dresses. Now, I haven't got any ribbon or embellishments at the moment. Sometimes I always find it hard to think about what to put on when you've created a scene like this. It's always hard. Let me do the flowers. I just thought I would put this on the inside. And I'll do one more. And I'll just colour that, I think, with Highland Heather. And because when you use, I'll show you when I do this, when you use these Stampin' Rights, the colour does go through to the back of the card. So because I'm pasting this onto a mat on the inside, it doesn't matter. But if you were doing it, say, on the front of a card that you haven't put a base on, it would show through to the inside. Or the envelope, if you do something on the front of the envelope, it could very well go all the way through to the back. What you can do in that situation, you can stick a piece of card, a bit of extra cardstock inside the envelope, so that it just goes onto that rather than the right through. I'm just adding a few little bits of the dark Highland Heather. And I haven't got a green, but I might grab a green and just put some little bits of green down here, so it doesn't look as though the grass is dead. There we go. Now, I'm not, as you can see, not one of those really tidy crafters where I put everything away as I'm working. I do at the end. I always tidy up at the end, put everything away at the end. But so many times I've put things away and then I've needed them again and had to get them out. So I usually wait to the end, and my desk can actually get, oh, this doesn't want to come out. my desk can get very, very, very busy. Must have a bit of a clog in there. Let me just get my trusty tool. Always store these upside down. Whoops, there we go. Because then it tends to not get blocked. There we go. And pop this on here. Then on the inside. Okay, let's see if I can find a ribbon. But what? No, actually, I know what I might do. I don't know what I might do. Not sure. What if I just put some embellishments on that? I might have to have a play with that and see what works. Don't always have to put ribbon and embellishments on everything. I was thinking maybe just some of the linen twine might be quite good. And just around the bottom there. And then I've dropped it. There it is. This is one of my favourites, my usual go-to, and it matches in with everything. So let me just use my stamp and seal, put a bit on each side, and just if you want to get 2 or 3 threads of this without going around your card base. Now obviously I don't want to go through the girls' legs, so I'm going to keep that there. Okay, so just go to the sticky bit like this and then fold it back on itself. Come back to the front and do the same. Can you hear that bird? Very loud. And then one more time, and then it gives you a nice 3. Or do I want 2? You might leave it at 2. Don't want it too thick. And then I will tie a bow. Let's pop that on first though. Now I always pop a dimensional over that as well, just to make sure. And you can't have saggy card. Don't like it if it dips in the middle or right. So I hope you give this a go. It's such a simple but very, very effective technique, masking. So much you can do with it. Go. Oh, you know what I've forgotten? And I haven't, oh, I hope I get the words on properly. You know, I haven't put a sentiment. And I'm going to have to try and stamp that and hope. Oh my goodness, I knew something was missing. Now, what's the chances with the dimensionals underneath that I don't do a very good job? Ah, dear. Okay. Here's hoping. What do you think? What are my chances? I've got this in soft suede. And I was just going to put that there. Oh, yay, it worked. Yay. Thought, oh, well, I've got to take the risk. Very good. All right. I knew there was something missing. I kept looking at it thinking, oh, what have I forgotten? Right. Just thread this underneath. This linen thread, I just, as I say, love it. I love that it's such a neutral, lovely neutral colour, but it's actually so lovely to work with as well. And sometimes you just don't want a big bow on something that takes up space. Okay, and then just fiddle with it till you're happy. Should have cut that a bit smaller, shouldn't I? But it's all right. And there we go. Now, should I put dimensionals on there? I think so. I think I'll find something to put on there. Let me see. I've got some holiday gems here with these blues and actually the in colour fresh freesia might look quite nice. Or blue. No, I think the fresh freesia looks pretty. Yeah. Just put them down here. There could be little gems in the sand. No, that's too close to that one. Put that one up there. Put this one down there a bit. There we go. And there we have the card. So I hope you enjoyed that, as I say. And use that technique. I'd love to see what you do, love to see your creations using it. If it's something you've already done, love to see any new ideas that you may have that I haven't shared. So take care, everyone, and if you're in Auckland, don't rush to the shops too fast, and I will see you again next time. Bye.